What are the challenges facing young adults today, and how can the church speak into those areas of their lives? Well, this is really important because it's certainly where my personal heart is. I think that first of all, it needs to be said that the challenges facing young adults are ultimately the same challenges facing old adults, little children, and middle-aged people. And it's the challenge of sin and death, not to be too morbid. So first of all, we need to not take these categories terribly seriously when we talk about young adults. Now that said, there are a few cultural stepping stones or touchstones that do inform a lot of the ways young people are thinking about themselves and about the world. And the number one way, the number one place I think that where we can really, where we have a direct comfort to provide to young people is the performancism that they have appropriated, and just they don't even know it. And I'm the same way. We're addicted to a sense of performancism. By performancism, I simply mean that we are what we do. It's very attractive, especially to people who are trying to form their identity. And there's no question that's of more urgency or excitement to young people, young adults, but also people throughout the age and throughout history, than the question, who am I? And what is my value in life? And the reason I say that it's a distinctly young question right now is the role that media is taking in this whole discussion. We have with social media, and I am a proponent of social media, I think there's enormous opportunities here, but we have in social media what some would call an enormous world-sized laboratory of identity formation, of people justifying themselves 24/7, presenting an image to the world of how they want to be perceived and how they want to probably be perceived by themselves. And this compulsion, this addiction, my phone, when it gets lost, I can feel it physically. It's like a phantom limb. But we are so tied to the affirmation and the criticism we get from that device that we mediate the world, that people have lost the ability to be bored. And I'm not the only one saying this. This is widespread. All the studies back it up. People have lost the ability to be bored. They've lost the ability to sort of do nothing. They've lost the ability to play. And so we live in a world that's not just very much in favor of sort of type A personalities. We live in a world where because the performancism was informing the identity formation, which is being given this outlet by social media and technology, no one is ever getting any rest. So people are exhausted. There is no stopping the justification train. And into this world in which people live, and Christians live in it just as much as non-Christians, Christianity has a message of enormous import. This idea that you are not who you see yourself to be. You are not who others see you to be, that's mediated through your profile, but you are who God sees you to be. And the profoundly good news of the assurance of the sort of imputation of the identity of Christ, this is a message that is extremely urgent for a generation that is addicted to devices to the extent that they're all extremely anxious and unhappy and lonely. And the studies seem to back that up too. So I often feel that if the church can't connect its message to the reality of where young people are, we've been given such an opportunity by this technology that if we can't do it, we just don't deserve to have any say on anything because it's so easy. And people are hurting so much. So that's what I would say about young people. There are plenty of other issues. There's plenty of family problems, sort of a gut-level narcissism that our culture is sort of infusing us with. But I would say that the identity question is so dominant for so many of us and so non-stop that the gospel is really the only answer for it, and it needs to be trumpeted, and in those specific terms as well.